Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, I've tried like 3 times now to do a reading on the crowd size comment that Trump had with regard to his trial, and I've been just unsuccessful. The first time I paused the video and the camera crashed or something, and the video just stopped. So I re-recorded it. Wasn't happy with my interpretations and such. Tried a third time, petered out. So I'm just going to give that a rest. Maybe I'll do that one tomorrow. I was just I'm looking for stories, trying to find something of interest to read on. And it just occurred to me, it's like, a lot of people have been subscribing to the channel recently, and they've been looking at the Why Was Ivana Trump Cremated So Quickly video I've had. And it's like, you wonder about the spiritual meanings of things. And looking at this whole Trump trial, kind of what's the spiritual lesson to be learned from this. But I'm really curious, what does Ivana think of Donald going through this trial and the lessons he's supposed to learn from this? So I'm going to do kind of a channeled reading here involving Ivana Trump. The Knight of Swords just pulled up here. Ding. It's just showing it's a progression here. A learning lesson, if you will. So what is Ivana Trump, as she watches this trial unfold, what is Donald supposed to learn from this? What are her feelings about it? What's her opinion on all the events that are occurring at this time? Okay? Entertainment purposes only. Let's see what we get coming out of this. Ivana Trump, high level, what's the energy around you as you watch this trial unfold? Hanged Man. I think the impression I'm getting here is that folks are going to see Donald Trump in a new light. And, Donald Trump, the mythology, versus Donald Trump, the actual person, are very different. It's also kind of a peek into his personal life as she experienced it with him. Ultimately, though, this is Donald Trump, his actions coming back to bite him in the butt. He's done all of this to himself. So it's like the consequences are here. These are all self-inflicted wounds. Nobody forced him to have an affair with Karen McDougal. Nobody forced him to attack Stormy Daniels after she came out of a bathroom. Nobody forced him to run for the president of the United States because he was pissed off that Barack Obama insulted him and that he was trying to negotiate a better deal with NBC for The Apprentice. These are all choices that he made, and it's all coming to a head. Crossed with the burden. Again, the choices that he made have created the burden he now has to bear. A lifetime of choices. And its culmination here. And he's the only person who can bear this burden. There's nobody to pass it off to. You can try and, get your lawyers to defend you. You can try and get your base to come out and support you. But in the end of the day, in this courtroom, it's his burden to bear. These are his actions and the consequences that impact him. Underneath, it's all about his relationships with people, specifically women. His relationship with Ivana, with Marla Maples, with Melania. He's had affairs on all of his wives. He's cheated on all of his wives. And again, for his followers, he's told them the things that he wanted them to hear, but what he tells them and what he actually does are two different things. And folks are now going to get to see who he is on this one. It's his burden to bear. But ultimately, underneath all of this, it's about Trump not valuing the relationships that he's been in. And that's one of the key lessons that he's going to pull away from this. In the past, we have the death card. This trial is going to this trial has brought to an end his not his affairs, but this is going to bring an end to this chapter of his life of how he got into the White House. We're looking at felony convictions here. It's also going to bring an end to, like at the end of his presidency in 2020, the actions that took place. Again, this trial goes back before that. This trial goes back to 2016. The end of Donald Trump, the private citizen, to Donald Trump, the politician. And Donald Trump, the politician, is what led to all the actions that are happening today. Had he just stayed Donald Trump, the private citizen, he wouldn't be facing any of this. This is also Ivana's death. Ivana, I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories about falling down the stairs, being pushed down the stairs. Things came to an end. People are going to see this man in a new light. He has burdens he needs to bear. Current situation, 4 of coins. What she sees with Donald Trump here is the diminishment of the man. This is a man who had money on his mind, money in his heart, and money is what motivated him. He's all about money and holding on to his money. So what's happening in these cases? He sexually assaulted E. Jean Carroll. And he defamed her. So he's on the hook for almost $100 million to her. He defrauded the city of New York. And that civil case resulted in $465 million in civil fraud penalties. That's growing every day. So he's getting his money taken away from him. But more is the mythology that he's built up about how smart he is, about the beautiful women that he loves, and about all the good things he does. It's all a lie. Everything's a lie. This is about this is hush money payments to a former Playboy bunny. This is about catching kills for the former Playboy bunny and for an adult entertainer that he assaulted, and to keep this information out of the public so he could win the 2016 election. Election interference. And as he hears like in jury testimony, he hears people discussing, calling him an orange gibbon with a dead ferret on his head. And the judge says, do you want to explain this Twitter post? And the potential juror said, I think the post speaks for itself. That juror did not get on the jury. But he has to hear what people really think about him. He's always been enclosed in this bubble of yes men that he doesn't actually know what people really think about him. And he's getting to hear that. And as he hears it, it causes him to shut down. He's going within so he doesn't have to hear this. Allegedly, he's being given printouts of articles written about him that are very flattering towards him, and he reads those so he doesn't have to hear what's going on. And when he doesn't have those, he tries to fall asleep so he doesn't have to hear the bad things being said about him. So he's diminishing, and his value is diminishing as this trial goes forward. Overarching energy is the Eight of Wands. This information's coming out and it's being broadcast around the world. Donald loves being the center of attention, but this is not the center of attention that he wants. This is the center of attention that he has earned. He's earned all of this through his actions. And everybody's going to know again what he's done. It's a shame this was videotape. Like, it's not live on TV for people to watch. But still, the court's producing transcripts. News agencies are reporting on it. I'm reading on it, that information's getting out to people. The lesson to be learned is the Page of Cups. The overarching, the lesson to be learned from the overarching energy in this top part is the Page of Cups. He's just this weird person with a weird perspective on life, on relationships. He doesn't have normal relationships with people. He didn't have, he wasn't there for his kids. He didn't have normal relationships with his kids. It's all about controlling, manipulating, getting people to believe things that aren't real. Again, as somebody who markets himself and basically is a con man, he gets people to believe anything. It's an amazing gift that he has to be able to do that. But now part of the problem is that he is now going to get to hear exactly who he is. Not who he sold people to who he is, but who he actually is. And as an extra added bonus, so are the people that are in his sphere. They're going to start hearing about who he really is. The outcome is temperance. his going from the top cup to the lower cup. Now, temperance is usually about purification, spirituality, slowing things down, integrating information. It's a diminishment. You got to go from this Page of Cups. This is kind of the mind influence that he throws out there. That's getting purified. The toxicity that's in that cup is getting removed. But it's also, it's knocking him down. He's going down a peg, much like the Two of Coins. You're going from the top cup to the bottom cup. There's a diminishment here as people find out more and more who this person really is. Now, it's interesting. We have four major arcana. We have the Hanged Man. Things are in the balance. We have things coming to an end. Lessons to be learned from things coming to an end. And kind of the Adam and Eve card here with how everything started. If you're a follower of Catholicism or Christianity, you would believe in the Old Testament that life started with Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And now what's happening? We're starting to see what the truth was that happened, things coming to an end, and then kind of like the life review where you have to sort of review everything that happened in your life and understand the impact that you had on others. I'll throw these in here real quick and I'll bring the camera back up. So I guess from Ivana's point of view, this is kind of like that last chapter of his life. It's almost like a life review before he actually has his life review. It's going to look at relationships that he's been in, how he's treated people, what his motivations are, what his subterfuge is, and the people that helped him out to get him to this point. What will Donald Trump... What does Ivana feel that Donald Trump will learn from this? What's the lesson to be learned from this trial for Donald Trump? Let's see. What does Ivana feel that Donald's lesson to be learned is from this? Four of Cups. Not everything's just handed to you. You've got choices. You've made choices. You have to live with the consequences of your choices. You're always given new opportunities to do something different. But Donald Trump also has this ability to just sort of, he ignores things. He just doesn't want to listen to this. He just keeps having the same life lesson given to him over and over again to see if he's going to learn from it. He doesn't like what he's hearing. But sometimes you don't get a choice. Strength card. It's a bitter pill to swallow. And it takes a lot of strength for somebody to tell you something you don't want to hear. But that doesn't mean that it's not valuable to hear it. It just means you don't want to hear it. Knight of Pentacles. Going forward, now it's more the mercenary card. Everything for Donald Trump was transactional. He was never loyal to anyone. It's just whatever benefited him the most in that particular incident is what did to him. He was weak in that regard. That, he lived a life of indulgence, self-indulgence. Best way to put it. And the Three of Cups, the celebration. He's not liking what he's hearing. What's the lesson he's supposed to learn? Is that sometimes things are going to be given to you that you don't like. Lessons can be hard and they're a bitter pill to swallow. In this case, what made his life difficult was that he was only in it for himself. It showed a weakness, and he abused women in the process of doing that. And there's going to be consequences for those women. The E. Jean Carrolls, the Stormy Daniels, the Karen McDougals of the world. It's coming back on him. It's almost like he's going to get it's like in his next lifetime, he didn't learn the lessons he was supposed to learn in this lifetime. He short-circuited himself. He was supposed to be in a position to be generous for others, and he chose to be selfish for himself. And it was a real opportunity that he had to do this and could have done a lot of good for people, but he chose a lower path. And his next time down on this planet, he may get an opportunity to make amends for this, but not on the scale that he was given in this one. This one was a big opportunity for him and for his personal spiritual growth, and it didn't happen. He has given the rest of us an opportunity for greater spiritual growth in a duality sort of sense. Four of Cups. We don't appreciate it either. Trust me. Bitter pills to swallow to watch this person come through here. And maybe our Three of Cups moment is we're finally seeing some accountability on the material plane here for his actions. Okay, last question. Does Ivana Trump have a spiritual message for us? What spiritual message would Ivana Trump have for us with regards to this lifetime with Donald Trump? Let's see what we got. Four-carder. Justice. Oh, well, let's end this on a high note. I guess justice is here. It's everything that we do is answerable in the end. Just because it doesn't appear that for all the transgressions in this world that he's going to be held accountable in this world doesn't mean that he's not going to be held accountable. I guess the other thing is, our idea of justice would differ from person to person. I certainly see that in the comments as to what they think Donald Trump would go through. But I think this is also just kind of like a fairness and a balancedness of it. We may not understand why we had to go through this, but this was to improve justice in this country. And I could certainly see that argument. We're watching the Supreme Court right now and how corrupt it is. We're watching Donald Trump, who's a former president, go through a a trial like any common criminal would go through. Now, mind you, he gets all sorts of benefits of the doubt, but we are seeing the American judicial system in progress. And for the women that were harmed by him and others harmed by him, they're seeing that there is some justice sometimes. Again, may not be in this lifetime, but we'll see. The Emperor. Let's throw all three cards. Let's throw all the cards here. We have the Justice card with the Lover's card underneath it. I think what she's saying here, and again, we got some major arcana here. And we all come from one source here. And the one source and the Council of, and the Light Council and such, they're the ultimate ones who, they do the evaluation and work with the souls on their life reviews here. And just because, where am I going to go with this? It looks like justice is going to prevail here. We still have judges who rule fairly for people. We still have values, but we need to reevaluate our values and our justice system because of, values change over time. And we should always be reevaluating those values here. It's about relationships. Also, lesson for, kind of the message for us, it's about the relationships that we come down here. We're all down here playing roles. And maybe in this particular time in place, justice has been going off the rails, and Trump, for all his antics, are now it's now being adjudicated, and we're here to see it. We're here to see justice prevail. We're here to see wisdom of humans take hold and evaluation of our values over time. I guess in the end of the day, just try not to judge too hard. We don't understand what's going on. We do from a physical human plane type of thing, but we don't have that that perspective that we get from source. Something along those lines. Anyways, I'm going to leave it here with this one. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your likes, shares, comments, everything you do to help feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks discovering this channel recently or for the first time, welcome. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.